on Instagram. Welcome to all my Instagram family members. Today we're going to talk about how to stay well under stress. And I have 3 tips. And if I feel generous, I'm going to give you a bonus today on how we can stay well under stress. But first, let's look at this intro video. Welcome back. I am Penny, also known as Plant Based Penny. I help people move from problems to progress with plant based solutions. And we're back talking about ways to stay well under stress. And let me tell you, if you've been following me, you know that I've had plenty of stress in my life over the last just week. And I know that many of us are in the same boat. So I figured I would talk to myself and let you listen in on tips and strategies that we can use to help us stay well under stress. But first, I want to ask you a question. What tip do you use? What's one thing that you do that helps you stay well under stress? And thanks for all those who are saying hello. Hello to Emily, to Amelia, hello to Isabel. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate that. And we will check over on Instagram for those who are watching as well. Wonderful. Thanks to Mercy. Thanks to Nancy. And thanks to Petrella, all of you, for watching over on Instagram as well. So, what one tip do you use? Because I don't profess to know everything. And I want this to be a community of sharing, of great like minds. So, I've talked about many tips before on just generally how to stay well. And whether we're dealing with personal challenges, which has been my challenge for this past week, or it's work pressures that you're dealing with, or it's just like the hustle and bustle of like everyday life that is challenging you, whatever it might be that's contributing to the stress in your life, those can take a toll really on our well-being. And one of the things that I talk about at Plant-Based Being Life is it's a holistic approach to our wellness. It's not just one thing. It's not just diet. It's not just being active or anything like that. It is a holistic approach. And that's one of the things I've learned from my global living and learning abroad and here in the United States is that you really need to look at it in the totality of the human being. And that's going to help us manage the stress and stay healthy. So let's get started, shall we? So tip number 1 I have is to practice mindful breathing. I've talked about this in a previous broadcast, but it's important actually to incorporate these tips on a regular basis and not just when you experience stress or not just when you think about practicing it. You want to incorporate it as a part of your normal everyday life. And so it's helpful to have these tools in your toolbox. And I mentioned once before, actually, in my book, for the book that I contributed to, which is Pearls. In that book, in my chapter, I talk about how mindful breathing was one of the things that actually saved my life while I was living in Costa Rica and I almost died. And so, one of those things that I practice and that I mention in the chapter in the book is mindful breathing. So, let's just do a little demo. It's actually one of the quickest ways that you can calm your mind and your body. A lot of times we take a little stress right here and we have to like drop our shoulders. We have to focus, cut off whatever noise is on. There's no radio, there's no TV, there's no videos playing. And even if there is, just focus on your own space and practice the mindful breathing. And so, how do we do that? We take a deep breath in through our nose, we hold the breath, and then we let it go. So we take the deep breath in through the nose for 4 seconds. We hold it for 4 seconds, and then we let it go for 4 seconds. Okay? It's really easy. I like for things to be simple for me in order for me to really get them. So we're going to practice those with you and me. And so I'm going to count this first time so that we are on the same page. Hi, Mom. And then I'm going to do it again and we're not going to count. Okay. So, ready? Sitting up in your chair, wherever you are. And so, we're ready. And we're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold our breath for 4, and then breathe out to the count of 4. Got it? Okay. All right. So, we're breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the idea of what we want to do. Okay. So I'm going to do it. I'm not going to count out loud. You count for yourself this time. Okay. We're practicing mindful breathing. All right. Breathing in. And that's all there is to it. So simple, but yet so helpful. And you don't just do it one time, you do it constantly whenever you need it. Somebody's getting on your nerves, then you practice your mindful breathing. You have a coworker who's challenging you, you have other responsibilities, your to-do list is to doing. Whatever it is, you practice the mindful breathing exercises, and that can help you. And so that is one of the tips, and one of the tips that I like to use. And it's actually going to help you reduce your stress, improve your mood, and you want to repeat this focusing on your breathing. It's a simple technique. Tip number 2 on how to stay well under stress. And tip number 2 is going to be eating a balanced diet. Now, I'm plant-based Penny, so I can't give you tips and not include eating a balanced diet in there. So, for those of you who may be new to my channel, I help people move from problems to progress with plant-based solutions. So, after 34 years in corporate America, I moved abroad where I ate my way through several countries, through 7 countries and 3 continents, and I stayed committed to my plant-based lifestyle. And my blood work will show you that I am not lacking in protein, which is a very popular question. So let me ask you this question. Where do you get your protein from if it's not from meat or meat byproducts. Let me see how many A students I have in the class today. If you can list another option for getting your protein other than meat or meat byproduct. Oh, wait, just a moment. Mhm. So let's see what responses we have. Okay, very good. Someone says vegetables. That is good. Let's see if we can get specific with our vegetables on where we can get our protein from. And so, yes, we can get them from legumes, we can get them from beans, especially those are great sources of protein. And we can get those from nuts, we can get those from even green vegetables. So it's important to understand and to know that you can get protein from different sources and they do not have to be meat. So, yes, so eating a balanced diet is going to be key to helping you when you're under stress, because one of the things that you don't want to do is that you don't want to be stressed, whether it's physically or mentally, and then you eat a crappy diet and that diet makes you feel bad. So now, not only are you under stress, now you feel crappy. You feel like the diet that you ate. And so it really does impact how we feel, how we eat. So we want to focus on a balanced diet of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and nuts, and making sure that we're getting our proteins. So we want to limit the sugary foods, the processed foods, and because the reason is that those cause energy crashes, and we don't want it to crash. We want to be able to stay up and manage what we're going through and not have it manage us. The other part of the balanced diet is, of course, to drink more water. Drink more water. So, drinking more water, drinking your herbal teas. Even I spoke last week at Bank of America for their IT employee division, and one of the things that I brought up there was that some people don't like drinking water, and that's understandable. Everybody didn't come up drinking water, and some people are just not accustomed to it. So if that is your case, then infuse your water with fresh lime or lemon water, or putting strawberries or watermelon or whatever it is, cucumbers. You can infuse your water with fruits and vegetables, and that will really help you want to drink the water even more. No, not with cocoa powder. We're not trying to make this into a cocoa drink or anything like that. We want to make it into keep it a nutritious drink. So water is the principal thing. Okay, tip number 3. And I think I might give you a bonus here because you've been very active. So tip number 3. So somebody put the tips in the chat for me, because I want to make sure that those who are watching on the replay, hey, everybody watching the replay, that we follow along, and those who may be joining a little bit later. So tip number 1 was mindful breathing. So you can type mindful breathing in the chat. That'll be helpful. And tip number 2 is balanced diet. Wonderful. Balanced diet. So hello to Ava and Sophia and Evelyn and Mia. Wonderful to see you all. As always, happy to have you join me on the War on Wellness broadcast. Tip number 3 is practice gratitude. Let me get a scribe. Somebody put that in there. Practice gratitude. Oh, I have a show and tell. Yes. I have a show and tell. Let me show you this. This If anyone knows what this is, maybe you've seen this or maybe you haven't, but this, make sure you can see it on camera. This is my blessing jar. It's my blessing jar. That may be backwards on your end. But my blessing jar is something that I started earlier in the year. And if you don't have one, you can start one now. But practicing gratitude, one of the ways that my husband Paul and I have practiced gratitude is by having a blessing jar. And in this blessing jar, but if you've ever heard of blessing jar, put blessing in the chat. Or if you'd like to start a blessing jar, if you think it's a good idea, put blessing in the chat. So the blessing jar is a way of capturing those moments in life that we forget about when we go through stress. So a lot of times, so my blessings, I wrote mine on yellow Post-it notes, and Paul put his on the green Post-it notes, just for the heck of it. So we would know whose was whose readily when we pull this out. And so, since there's been a lot of stress in our life, what we're going to do is this evening, we're going to pull out a couple of these blessings to read because the brain, because when it's under stress, it does not easily recall the good. And so it is important for us, to count your blessings, name them one by one, and see what the Lord has done. And so some people journal, and that's fine. You can look back in your journal and flip the pages there and see what blessings have come your way and remember those good times and those blessings. And some people do blessing jars like me. So that is just one thing that I do, and we will be pulling those out. And I won't be pulling those out during this live broadcast because they're personal blessings for us. And you don't have to share your blessings with anyone. You can, of course, but that is not the choice that we're making here. And so we're going to go back to our tips that we have. So practicing gratitude was tip number 3. So somebody put that one in the chat. It helps us to be reflectful, and it also helps shift our focus away from whatever that stressor is in our life. And it improves our mood and reduces stress and helps us with our overall outlook. So that's tip number 3. And I'm going to offer a bonus for all of you watching the War on Wellness broadcast today. And but before I give you the bonus, I do want to remind you that I do have an upcoming webinar, and it's called Thyroid Thrive. Thyroid Thrive. That is the name of the webinar. And I'm going to be sharing the tips and strategies that I use in order to get my positive doctor's report. And I'm going to talk to you about what I ate, what I did not eat, the things that I ate that worked against me, that I found out that I should not have been eating, the factors that influence my healthy growth, and the management of my thyroid, the factors that influence it, the supplements that I take, the mistakes to avoid. Yes, all of that I'm going to discuss in the upcoming webinar. And so just make sure that you stay tuned to this page. If you're not following me on Instagram or following me in my Facebook group, which is Plant-Based Penny Life, or subscribe to my website, whichever that you make sure that the Facebook group and Instagram are going to get it, are definitely going to know about it. So make sure that you know about it. So thank you, Charlotte and Aria and Harper. Look forward to seeing you there. So the bonus of staying well under stress is going to be to take breaks and unplug. Take breaks and unplug. So we want to take breaks and we want to take them throughout the day, not just one time a day or not avoiding them at all. I used to be when I was in corporate America for 34 years. I started off my corporate career as a workaholic and not even taking breaks unless I had to go to the ladies' room, not taking vacation. I mean, crazy. Please take your vacation, take your time off, and take breaks throughout the day. To step away from whatever you're working or your responsibilities, and take that few minutes for yourself because it is so vitally important to our mental health and our physical health. So we want to unplug and unplug in nature if you can. Find some nature wherever you are and unplug. If you can just get a plant in your house or in your office or go for a short walk, even that will help just get the blood flowing. And another I guess bullet point to this bonus is to plant something. You may not be able to plant a whole big garden, but plant something. If it's planting some herbs for your kitchen windowsill or for your balcony or your patio or your deck or even a garden, plant something now. And it's so rewarding to even plant a seed and to watch that seed grow. So whether it's going to be flowers, whether it's vegetables, whether it's herbs, whatever it is, plant something now so that you'll have this great distraction, positive distraction later. So plant a garden so you can take a break later and you can come back refreshed and ready. So in conclusion, I want to remind you that to stay well under stress. There's three things that I suggest. Practice mindful breathing is going to be one. That's a really easy, inexpensive, free way to reduce stress. Eat a balanced diet because we don't want to make it worse by eating a crappy diet. Practice gratitude because it'll help our brains remember our blessings. And the bonus is to take breaks and unplug. And these tips are going to help us manage stress and help us stay well. And really, it's okay. It's okay to take time for yourself. And it's okay to seek support if you need any extra support. That's going to be okay as well. I'm going to respond to all of your comments. If you have any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section and I'm happy to respond to those. I'm Penny, also known as Plant Based Penny, and it is absolutely my pleasure to have you join me on this journey to wellness. And we're going to move from our problems to our progress. And I will see you on next Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the channel where you're watching this and on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much, and we'll talk with you later.